Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the stream. It's Monday. It is precisely 11 a.m. Like rigorously prompt as always. And I'm exhausted. I've been exhausted for about 5 days now. I'm not in incredibly high amounts of pain, but regardless how much I sleep or how well I sleep or when I sleep, I am exhausted right now. So we're gonna do a shorter stream because I don't remember how to editing. So yeah, so we've got like I'd say 60% of me today. But I'm here, and I find when I'm in this sort of situation where I just feel like I can't do anything, just trying to do a few things is really helpful. I've been live for more than 0 seconds, which can do this. Thank you. Yeah, like just trying to do things, seeing what happens, listening to my body. If it's violently screaming no, I want to go to sleep, then trying that. Relentlessly trying things. I really want to be asleep still, but I know from the experience of the past few days that that's not actually going to help anything. It makes no difference. I slept like 10 hours yesterday. But thinking like, you know, I'll maybe my body really does need more sleep. I'll give it more sleep. Here's more sleep. Oh, this did nothing. If you're not aware or familiar, my pain condition, fibromyalgia, also affects your sleep quite significantly. One of the things, basically what it does is it means that sleep isn't as, like, it doesn't work as well as it should do. You don't get all of the benefits from sleep that you should normally get. So you can sleep for 10 hours, and it could be 10 hours of sleep that doesn't really do anything. So it's like the same as having slept 5 hours. So I suspect that may have happened for a few days in a row. But, you know, it's the 14th of December. Got 2 weeks left at work. And then I will have 3 weeks before my PhD starts. So hopefully somewhere in all of this, and I've got Christmas as well, and somewhere in all of this I will be able to like get that back on track a bit, or work out things that I can do to help with it. Like, it might be that sleeping at certain times helps or doesn't help. Maybe. And I like how I waved at the screen I've got chat on, which is not where the camera is, so it looks like I'm really waving at someone else. But yeah, so it's really annoying. I really want it to stop. I'd rather be in pain, I think. I think that's the frustrating thing is I've been so tired as well that I've been getting brain fog, which is also another fibro thing. Basically means I can't focus on stuff. My brain just isn't working in the normal way. So that's another reason that I want to do fewer sessions today, is I don't want to be like forcing myself to read when my brain can't really do it. And just throwing pens all over the place now. We'll see how it goes. I want to try. It might be that I do one and I go, well, that's it. But then at least I've tried, you know. That's the important thing. And it's also important to remember that there is no reason for me to be studying right now. I'm doing this because I want to and because I enjoy it. The same with streaming. So I need to be careful to remember that if at any point, you know, it's not helping, then I just don't do it. I realise this is shockingly obvious logic. It doesn't work very well in my brain. Obvious logic. Right, so what we will do today, I'm aiming to do 3 Pomodoro sessions, but I'm expecting we're likely to do 2. But it depends how this first one goes. So I finished The Body Keeps the Score. It's amazing. I wish I could recommend it more freely to people who've experienced trauma, because it's utterly incredible at explaining both the neurological side of things and what has literally happened to all the wiring in the brain, and also the like social side of it and the cultural side of it and the like lived embodied side. It's really good at showing the importance of both of those things and how you can't just look at one. It's really good at highlighting like the history of psychiatry and how impacted it was by the pharmacological movement, and how that utterly ruined the research into a lot of like really important, really successful looking treatment methods. There's a few that he talks about where they were sort of starting to be like proving themselves to be successful in the 70s, which is when, so basically the pharmacological revolution was the discovery that you could make drugs that treated things, and also that more importantly, that you could sell medication and make a lot of money selling medication. So basically capitalism ruined psychiatry. That sounds really extreme. It's really not, because there were so many. It's all about what gets funding in research, and if funders are going to ultimately make more money off funding medical interventions, medication-based interventions, that is, they're all medical interventions, then they're going to do that, and they're not going to fund the other things. So yeah, and there's a lot of emphasis as well on like funding treatments that don't take very long, and it can take years to recover, years and years to, I don't want to say the word recover, help undo the neurological changes in the brain that occur because of trauma, especially childhood trauma. Having said all that, I think this book is amazing. I still can't recommend it widely because of how graphic it is regarding assault and abuse and all forms of trauma. I've said this before, but again, it's not gratuitous at all. It's not that it's all let's graphically describe all of these horrible things. It's very much not that. What he does is he just calmly and carefully and clearly describes what happened to people in the case studies that he uses, and he uses case studies constantly. So you won't find a chapter that is free of this sort of thing, and so I'm very cautious recommending it to people who've experienced especially child or sexual assault. If you have experienced any of those, please be very careful when reading it, because it can be very triggering, and I know it's been very triggering for people. There's a few activists, like mental health activists that I follow on Twitter, who weren't warned about this and wish they had been, and said like, this book is amazing but I couldn't finish it. So yeah, just be careful, but it is an absolutely brilliant book, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it, but with caution. What I'm reading next is a little bit different. The book I'm reading next is this. Oh, I've covered the name up. This is Disability Visibility, first-person stories in the 21st century, and it is a collection of essays from disability activists and disability theorists. It's edited by Alice Wong, and I think I discovered it from one of the people included in it, yeah, that I follow on Twitter, who put it out there. I think it's self-published. Oh no, it's not. It's from Vintage Books, but it might just be print on demand. About Vintage Books, so I'm curious now. I'm really curious about how books get made. Oh no, it's a subdivision of Random House, as many publishing houses are, because they just slowly get bought by the bigger publishing houses, and that's how publishing becomes one big conglomerate. I'm not skeptical. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be reading today. It's had such good reviews, so I'm really excited. I thought it was a good one. I've got a whole bunch of books to go through, and I've just been bought more for Christmas, so I'm very excited. Or rather, I've been given the money to buy more for Christmas, so I'm going to have this big delivery of books at some point in the new year, and that's going to be wonderful. I thought I'd go for this one because it's on camera, because it's essays, and that might be easier for me than going through like a whole normal book, because I can do like one bit at a time and take it slowly and stop and think about it if I need to. So that's the plan. Did the music just end really? No. Okay. It's like, that song ends really abruptly, and I was like, did my music just turn off? What happened? Let's try it. Let's go on in. Yeah. So what I've been umming and ahhing about whether we do 20-minute sessions again. I think I am going to start with 20 minutes, but we might see. We might make the second session shorter. I don't know. We will see what I feel like when I get there. But for now, I remember now that I need to go in and turn the timer on manually once first. But yeah, so we'll just start and we'll see how it goes. And if you're studying along or working along or whatever as well, then feel free to join in and to say how you've done at the end. I'm going to give us 10-minute break afterwards, because I think longer breaks will help as well. But it might also be that it's not, and actually I just want to get it done and over, so we'll see. I don't know. I like having a plan, but I also like listening to myself and doing what I need to. So yeah. We will see how this goes. I'm going to start this timer now. Slowly. There we go. So I will see you in 20 minutes. Good luck with what you're doing, and yeah, we'll see you. No, I'm not Asian, and that's a really weird thing to come into someone's stream and ask. Are you assuming that I'm Asian because I'm an academic streamer? Hi Jay Banks, hi Tina, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry I was in a work burst whilst you came and said hello. I hope you're all very well. This book is fantastic. I'm really pleased. It's so interesting because I took some notes when I was reading the introduction, and I'm now in the first essay, and I'm just not taking notes anymore. I'm just completely engrossed in what I'm reading. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm loving it so much. It's very much about, so they described in the introduction how it's not so much about educating anyone especially, but like just putting the lives of all these people across, and so that's lovely, Tina, but you don't, like, we're not here to discuss how attractive or not I am. Thank you. So it's much more about like presenting essays that are snapshots of people's lives and storytelling in that sort of way. There was a lovely quote of, "Hey Jay Banks, I'm all right, thank you. I'm absolutely exhausted, so we're doing a shorter stream today." I've been exhausted for about 5 days. At some point, it will get better. But yeah, this quote was, "Storytelling can be more than a blog post, essay, or book. It can be an emoji, a meme, a selfie, a tweet." And that's, yeah, it's just a lovely way of articulating how much storytelling has changed in the internet era, especially. And also I was thinking about it in terms of an accessibility question, because for many people, sitting down and writing an entire book or a long essay or things like that isn't as accessible as, for example, tweeting. Some people can only do like audio or video as opposed to typing, so then things like TikTok and Instagram or other platforms that are more image and video based, or YouTube or things like that, and that's still storytelling, and it's just the modern format. So I definitely I don't know that I want to go too far into like social media storytelling with my PhD, because I feel like I've got to be really careful, because whilst I'm looking at non-normative forms of narrative, and Twitter would absolutely be one of those, and Instagram and everything like that, if I get into that is a huge can of worms to open. It's a really big thing to get into, and will require a lot more like foundational work in what that sphere is like, because a lot of the reason that I'm looking at these narrative forms is what their contexts are, because that affects how accessible they are and how much people are able to express themselves authentically in those situations, because the audience that you're writing for has a massive impact on what you're writing. So I'm nervous to go too far into social media as a non-normative narrative form, but I think I need to acknowledge it in some way, and it might be that I end up finding that actually I can just do one chapter on that, and then that works well. I can't remember what my chapters are right now, and maybe I'll look that up. Shall I look that up? This is the sort of thing I should know. To be fair, it's worth bearing in mind that when you do a PhD proposal, you don't get held 100% to what you've put out there. It's not. Here's this one. you're not like bound to all the stuff in your proposal. So yeah, I know I'm signed in as this. Where's my... Oh yeah, so I in fact, in this revision, I didn't give this chapter will be this thing. I gave like an overview of the like structure of looking at defining what the non-normative space is, defining what makes an alternative narrative form alternative, looking at the actual form of the things that I'm looking at, and comparing them to traditional narrative form or standard narrative form. And sort of looking forward and thinking about the future of what that can then mean and what that could go towards. But the thing is that then I don't think I'm likely to hang entire chapters on those things. And it might well be that I'm like, okay, let's explore what makes a narrative form by looking at social media, for example. And I can see that being the sort of thing I do. I'm really excited to look at different things. This is I didn't put the timer on the break, so we're gonna guess. I'm just gonna go until I'm ready to start working again. I'm really excited to write about fan fiction in my PhD, because I think that there could be some really interesting questions in how fanfiction lets people explore their own stories safely. Like that idea of what I talked about in my master's dissertation, where talking in the third person about your traumatic experience is safer. And I'm really interested to look at whether fanfiction achieves that, because it gives you the structure of these are the characters already in this world is already built for you, and in the same way that role-playing sort of does that. So that's something I'm interested in doing. I'm also interested in writing more about role-playing and how that manifests, and I think that's I want to lean into that weird and unexpected sort of form. I think that's going to be where I'm going to be really interested, and where I'm going to find some interesting things. I know anecdotally that there's a really high volume of disabled people in the fanfiction community. It's very accessible as a form to people who are disabled. You don't need to go anywhere to do it. You don't really need very much in order to do it. There's no cost involved in posting things to the internet. You get engagement with people. It's wonderful. I do write fan fiction, but I don't release what I'm never going to tell you what my pseudonym is, so don't ask. But I've got a long chaptered story. And someone over the past week has been going through and reading every chapter and commenting on every chapter, and I can see them reacting to the different things, and it's so lovely. And I've never had that from my traditional published work, because it's so much more immediate and direct, and it's wonderfiction in that sense. So I'm really interested to look at how, ironically, fan fiction, which is almost like behind two layers of fiction, because it's your layer and then the layer of the original text that you're transforming. I'm really interested to see how transformative works are more productive in terms of illness narrative. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. As you can see, one of the books I've got over here is The Dark Fantastic, which is by Ebony Elizabeth Thomas, and it's specifically about race in fantasy fiction and transformative works and all sorts. She was on a podcast that I listened to, which the podcast I listened to is called Fansplaining, and you should absolutely go and listen to it if you have any interest in transformative works and fandom. It's amazing. and they have some amazing people on there. But I'm really excited about doing that. I don't know how receptive my supervisor is going to be to me going, hey, so yeah, I absolutely want to write about poetry and artist books and all of these things. Can I also write about fanfic? I've no idea. I think she'll like it as an idea, because I think she'll be interested to find how it's different. Yeah, we'll see. For now, I'm going to take us into another study session, and this will be we're going to do another 20 minutes. I think I'm interested enough in this book. I'm pushing through the exhaustion. I've also now got the adrenaline of being on Twitch, which possibly comes from the weird troll questions, which I might just leave. I was going to purge them, but I can't be bothered now. So yes, we will be doing another 20 minutes. As before, I'll be muted, and you won't see my face, because then you can see what I'm doing vaguely. It sort of makes more sense that you can see where I'm studying and not just like my face going, makes sense to me anyway. So yeah, I will do that, and I will timer. I want me to be over here. There we go, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. Good luck with whatever you're doing. I'm slightly early. Oh, that's way too high as well. I'll get the hang of it eventually. Hello, welcome back. I've put this too low as well. I'm not doing very well today. I also do now feel like I'm falling asleep. So I think this might be time to stop. I'm just charging through this book. Look how much I've read already. It's fantastic. I'm not taking any notes. I'm gonna have to go back through it again. I think I could use some of this for my PhD as primary sources. So I'm just enjoying it this time, and then I can go back another time and read it like critically. Right now I just want to absorb it and enjoy what's in there. And I think that's an important thing when you're reading, is to recognize like that difference and accept that you might need to read something again. And I think that's really important. But yeah, so I think I am actually going to leave it there. Let's go on to this screen. I'm sorry it's very short today. I know it's half our usual time, but I don't think I'm very entertaining when I'm this tired. And I don't know what I need to do. I don't know if I need to go and try and sleep some more, because as I say, that hasn't been working, but maybe I'll try it anyway and just see what happens. But thank you all very much for coming and for being here and for talking, and it's been lovely to be here even for a short time, so thank you very much. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and a lovely Tuesday, and hopefully I will see you on Wednesday, assuming that I remembered how sleep works. So yeah, exactly, it was a good attempt, and I can go and rest knowing that I've tried, and that it was the best I could do. So thank you all very much for coming, and take care, and I will see you again very soon.